Hey everyone, how you doing? Tom here from IndieLifestyle.net. Welcome to my little video, 10 things about what I learned on my pilgrimage, which was actually the Via Podiensis pilgrimage, which goes through part of France. I remember my first sight of those Pyrenees mountains. The pilgrimage I walked, it starts from a place called Le Puy-en-Velay, which is in about south-central France. So similar to the Camino in Spain, you do about 760 kilometers. So by the time you see those mountains for the first time, you've already done probably, I don't know, 650 kilometers. You get a little emotional, it's a pretty big thing that you've done walking all that way. And one of the things you realize is that just from taking a step every day, just with your own little feet that you're using, those little legs, they get you incredible distances. And I think one of the first things I realized about my walk was that you take small steps in, be it a pilgrimage, be it any stage, anything you want to do in your life. It just takes a small step, and as long as you can keep pushing forward, get going every day, it's just incredible what you can do with it, and that's the real takeaway. It also kind of goes into something else, I believe, about what we do in our lives that's physical, that's sport. It's not just about what you do with your body. These are things that are metaphysical. They go into your brain as well. If you've proven that you can travel that far, you've gone 100 kilometers or you've just done a 20-kilometer day, you kind of think, yeah, I can do this. And then maybe that will take over into another area of life. You've got a project, you've got something going on. So doing a pilgrimage, for goodness sake, it's you're doing hundreds of miles. So to say that you've done that, people of all ages can do that. To then say, yes, I did this, I triumphed, that moves over into other areas of your life. And I just think that's awesome. So number one is small steps, getting up, going on, doing the same thing, believing in yourself every day can take you huge distances. On day 3 of my walk, I remember just sheer unbelievable pain. It was a disaster. I'd made the biggest mistake. I almost finished the walk, to be honest with you. I'd started off with about 16 to 18 kilograms of weight on my back. This included tent, stove, all kinds of bedding, extra clothing, all my camera gear, my laptop. It was unbelievable. And I carried this stuff for 3 days on the pilgrimage trail. And by the 3rd day, my back was in just agony. I had a back injury that I suffered about 1.5 years ago now. And I was just getting big red lights from that area that I'd hurt last time, and I thought this could be it. This could actually be it. That night I sat down and I had to realistically say to myself, this could be it here unless I make a huge decision. The decision, which I'm really proud of in the end, is that I got rid of a whole huge load of stuff. This is stuff that I'd bought brand new about 2 weeks earlier, tent. The stove, which was pretty expensive, I just gave it to other pilgrims in the hostel where I was. And you know what? I was depressed for a couple of days thinking about the waste of money, but I started walking again and my back slowly started to get itself back together again. So I guess the takeaway from this one is you really don't need a lot of the stuff that you hang on to in life. This was the lesson that I took from it. You may think, oh, I need this, I need that, but sometimes these things, they actually weigh you down. It's best to have a look at the things, the basics that you need, nothing more than that, and don't hang on to them too much. The other thing I take from this is my own body. I feel like I'm a young and strong guy, but everyone's vulnerable. That back injury I suffered, it's still going to be there, so I have to look after myself. So the main thing is, think about what you're taking. Do you need it? Don't you need it? Make a decision, move forward. It's best to travel light. I think to my last point that I was making about the physical idea of things, I remember I used to do, when I started out and I was looking at how far I had to go each day on this trip, I was thinking, my goodness, 20 kilometers, 25 kilometers, sometimes more than that, 30 kilometers. Now, I've been a bit of a walker all my life, but for me, if I do 20 kilometers, which is about, 12 to 15 miles in a day, that's me thinking, wow, I've done my workout, that's it. I can now have a couple of weeks and go, wow, that was a damn good day. When you're on the pilgrimage, you're doing it every day. So It's something quite different. But you see these people. I'm 37. I'm pretty fit. But I was looking at people on the walk. They were in their 60s. There were people in their 70s. There was a guy in his mid 80s. He kept pace with me, not the same speed every day, but I used to see him rolling up every evening in the same place. He would cover the same thing. And it just speaks to me a lot about the capabilities of the human body. A lot of people, when I explained to them what I was doing, they said, "Oh, I could never do that. You know, I'm too old. I couldn't manage it." But the truth is, I think most people can manage this kind of thing. The human body, it's made to walk. It's made to carry things. Even despite my disastrous overloading incident, I think I still probably carried about 14 kilograms each day. So that's 14 kilograms I carried for 800 kilometers, I guess, more or less. The body is made for carrying, for walking, for traveling. Never underestimate your own abilities. Amazing stuff. You know, there'd be days on the walk when I'd be thinking, it'd be pretty cool to have, a nice trail buddy with me today, someone to chat to. But, I'd end up walking alone the whole day. That can happen a lot more on these pilgrimage routes in France. In Spain, it's less likely. And so there I'd be, I'd be walking along the trail on my own thinking, actually, you know what? This isn't too bad. You start getting into your thoughts, you start, going over these questions that you've got or going over things that happened in the past. And believe me, a couple of days of this and you start to really, really unwind and relax, I remember there was one day I went through 3 of the most beautiful places I think I've ever seen. A place called Saint-Côme-d'Olt, Espalion, and then I finished in Estaing. These are 3 I think most of them, or if not all of them, are UNESCO protected French towns. And sure, I met people on the way, groups to say hi, what's going on. But that day, I remember it. I was on my own on the trail most of that time, and man, it was awesome. Absolutely awesome. I've done Vipassana meditation before, maybe about 13 years ago now. This is the type of meditation where you're sitting there, your eyes are closed, and you're kind of doing all this inner belief stuff. But really, for me, the point I want to make now is that for me, the best form of meditation is long distance walking. It's no coincidence. People on the pilgrimage, they have this heightened sense of awareness. They open themselves. There's tears, there's tears of sadness, there's tears of joy. Going, as my friend Owen Martell says, he's another guy who writes about distance walking, just the cadence of your feet, day after day after day, moving through that amazing, beautiful landscape, it does something to you. It relaxes you, it helps you to unwind. It's the best form of meditation. I remember getting ready for the walk and thinking, oh my God, what am I going into here? I didn't really know too much about the way. All the guidebooks were in French, and I was thinking, oh my God, how can I handle this thing, So my mechanism to try and deal with this was to try and micromanage and organize everything, just to try and take away that fear of the unknown, I'd be looking at which hotel I could do. I'd probably buy 3 guidebooks instead of just the one I needed. I was trying to get in touch with everybody on the internet just to see if I could find a single person who'd done it before. So there's this kind of fear that you've got of the unknown. But there was this one guy on my Facebook group, Robert. Hi, Robert. And he said he was the one guy who said to me, just let it flow. The way provides. That was another thing I heard once I was on the trail from this guy who'd done lots of these kind of things. It's just you kind of gotta trust that everything is going to be okay. It does take a few days because you're there, you're new, you've got all your gear, you're thinking maybe I should have brought that, but in actual fact you manage. And this is the takeaway from this one really, is that as long as you have that faith and you kind of go forward, people will do things for you you just can't believe, and things will turn out great, 99.5% of the time. And if there's a 0.5 that it doesn't turn out great, you know what, you'll make it, you'll be fine. You're a human being, you can cope, So this is the thing, go forward with that faith, things will work out for you. And as soon as you start kind of working on this assumption, you'll find there's a lot more freedom that goes into your walk. Again, this is something else you can take into your own life. Don't stress out too much. You cross each bridge when you come to it. Have a great time, and things will look after themselves. Thanks for listening into some of my crazy ideas on the pilgrimage. It's amazing what you can do just going walking for a few weeks. I've written a ton of stuff on the website, which is indielifestyle.net. If you go to the site and go to the blog page, just right there in the sidebar, you'll see one of my favourite pictures. It's of a medieval cross and a picture of Estang in the background. If you click on that image, it has a link to all the stuff I've done, all the material that I've written about the pilgrimage. There's about 40 or 50 pages there. Everything you could hope to know about this kind of thing. Any questions, just contact me, and I really encourage you, even if it's just a day, go out for a long walk. It's just the best thing ever. So great to have you there. Hope to see you on the site, and for now, see ya.